Welcome to the English class for class 10th. Here we are again with the poem When You Are Old. The poem written by W.B. Yeats for his beloved Maud Gonne, in which the poet tries to make her understand that how she would feel and look like when she will be old, and when his beloved is old, she will remember the love, the eternal love of the poet, and poet wants to make him understand the love he loved, the inner soul of his beloved, but she will be trying to find him here and there on the mountain tops among the stars, but he will be found nowhere. So in the last lesson we went through the poetry, we had a summary, but today we will be touching some of the poetic devices or the literary devices used in the poem. Here, firstly, there is personification. What is personification? Personification gives human qualities to non-human beings. Giving human qualities to non-human things. For example, we have natural things and we make them full of life. We assume that they have life and they begin to talk, they begin to move as a person moves. So this kind of thing is known as personification. Personification gives full human qualities to non-human things. That means the poet assumes that this lifeless body, any of the lifeless body, behaves like a human figure. All the human qualities are being perceived in a non-human figure or a non-human thing. And in this poem, love is personified. Love is personified as someone who can flee, pace, and hide his face. Love is being personified as the love will flee, as a human being flees. He fades away, goes away, out of the screen. Here again, love is being found that it is out of the screen. Love fled and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. What did love do? Firstly, love fled away. It went away. Then it paced upon. It paced. It went away and it began to walk or go. Then, and paced upon the mountains overhead. When love paced, mountains overhead. And then love hid his face. As a person hides his face from somebody, I want to avoid somebody. When I want to avoid somebody, I hid my face. And this hiding of face is human nature. This is known as personification. These characteristics are a characteristic of a person. Characteristics of a person. So all these things like love fled, then it paced, then hid face. These characters are found in a human being, and these characters, when poet says there's this character of fleeing, this character of pacing, and then hiding of face is in whom? It is in love. So here love has been personified. Love has been personified. So love is shown as a person who leaves the woman and hides from her. Who is the woman? Woman here is the beloved of the poet. The woman here is beloved of the poet. But when this love is shown as a person and when it hides when this woman has grown old. When woman has grown old, then she is in old age. So here again we see that the human qualities given to love personifies love. So the poet has used the literary device of personification in this poem, and the poem is when you are old, and which word has been personified? Love has been personified. Love has been personified, and it is shown as a person for whom? For the beloved of the poet, for the beloved of the poet. And what love does? Love flees away, then it paces, and after pacing, what it does? It hides from her, or hides from her. Who this her is? Her is the woman, or the beloved of the poet. I hope you have understood what personification is and what word has been personified in this poem. Now, we will come to the second literary device, that is alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of, alliteration is the repetition of same consonant sounds. Same consonant sounds. Repetition of same consonant sounds. In set of alphabet in English, we have 26 letters. In 26 letters, there are 5 vowels and 21 consonants. These 5 vowels and these are 21 consonants. When these consonants are repeated, when the words which are framed using these consonants and the same consonant sound is being repeated again and again, it is known as alliteration. And what Yeats does, Yeats uses it to make his lines musical and memorable. So we come to know that alliteration is used by the poets to make their poetry, to make their lines more musical and more memorable. So again, we will see which lines, which words have been used again and again to create alliteration in the poem. See, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. See in these lines, and word, and word, Then, the repetition of the sir sound in stars, sir, S sound, face, sir, and mer sound in mountains. This creates a sound and flowing effect. But what is alliteration? Alliteration is repetition of this word. Repetition of the consonant sounds, sir sound, sound, and other sounds that are used in the poem. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds. Repetition of consonant sounds in poetry. When there is repetition of consonant sounds in the poetry, we say there is alliteration in the poem. And what Yeats does? Yeats has created alliteration in these lines by starting these lines with and paced upon the mountains overhead and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. This sound. Then stars, face, like these sounds. When these sounds come again and again in the poem, we say that there is alliteration. And this, what does this alliteration does? It creates a music. It creates a music and memory. It is musical and memorable. So alliteration is also used by the poet in this poem. So far we have done two literary devices. Number one was personification, giving human touch to lifeless things, and second one is alliteration, that is repetition of consonant sounds in the poetry is known as alliteration. Now we will be seeing what third literary device has been used. Here we have imagery. What is imagery? Imagery Imagery creates vivid pictures in the reader's mind through the descriptive words. Vivid, clear. What is vivid? Vivid means clear. To form a clear picture. Form a clear picture. So what does imagery do? Imagery creates a vivid picture in the reader's mind through descriptive words. When we read something and an image is found in our mind, we say imagery has been used or imagery has been created. So what does Yeats do in this poem? Yeats paints a clear picture of an old woman by the fire lost in memories. In the first stanza, poet Yeats, he refers to his beloved Morgan and creates a picture of the old lady. When she is grey, she is old, and there is a clear-cut picture formed in our mind of an old woman who is stung by the fire and she is lost in the memories. In which memories? Of her youth. Memories of youth. And what are the lines Yeats used? Yeats used, when you are old and grey and full of sleep. When you are old and grey, and full of sleep and nodding by the fire. Take down this book and slowly read. See this. And I'm again repeating. Firstly, we will be confined in this slide to imagery. See what kind of imagery poet has created here. A woman sitting by the fire. She's old. She's grey. Her hair has gone grey, total grey. And she's old. Her face is with wrinkles. And she's full of sleep. Seems she's sleepy. She's too weak. She's weak. She's trying to muster courage. Muster courage. Courage for what? To be vivid, to be lively. And she tries to peep into the windows of her youth. Peep into the window of past. And which past? Where there is youth, when she was young. This kind of imagery has been created by the poet. When his beloved is old, grey, and then weak, and he peeps into the window of her past. Which past? Which is full of youth. And she's nodding by the fire. She's full of sleep. Her eyes are closed. She's not exactly sleeping. Her eyes are closed, but she is thinking something about the past. Closed eyes, peeping in the past, trying to look with her closed eyes into the past. What happened in the past? And when she thinks and thinks, she thinks about some good things and she nods in a positive, yes, this was a good thing. Oh, sorry, I lost this. Oh, this was very good. There are many people who admired my beauty. How lovely that was. But my poet, poet W.B. Yeats, what he did not love my beauty. What he loved, oh, he loved the pilgrim soul in me. And while thinking about all these things, she nodded beside the fire like this. At times nodding in positive and at times nodding in negative. And both the times she's sitting by the fire and poet asks her to take down this book and then slowly read it. What to read? What happened in the past? What I did? What the poet did for his beloved? How he loved him? And all these things, all these lines makes us feel the right kind of imagery. We find a clear and vivid picture of how this beloved might be looking, how beautiful she might be even in her old age, how beautiful might be she in her youth, and how others would be admiring her beauty during her youth, and how the poet admired the beauty of his beloved throughout, whether she was old or she was in her prime youth, whatever condition or situation she was in. And these things create imagery or a vivid picture in our mind, and we come to know through these descriptive words about what? About the imagery used in the poem. So we can almost see the fire, we can see the old age, and we can see the peaceful moments. These things can be seen in our mind's eye when we read this poem, or when we read just these lines of the poem, how imagery is being created, and in our mind these things float away, these pictures are being created, coming and going, this coming and going of pictures being created in our mind, in our flashback. This is known as imagery. Then, after so far we have done what? We have done personification, we did alliteration, and now this is imagery. And here again you will be seeing again here, and I will be using this slide again, slide of imagery. So I think I will use another pen here, using this word, and here and there, and then we have you are full of by the fire, take down this book, slowly read. See here, and again you see there is alliteration in these words. This poem is full of alliteration. And then imagery again, which we found that this clear and vivid picture is being created in our minds. Now, moving towards the fourth kind of literary device used in the poem, that is symbolism. Symbolism is the use of symbols. Use of symbols. Which symbols? To represent deeper meanings. Use of symbols in the poem to represent deeper meanings. Like the book. The poet's poems, his everlasting love and memories. Go back to the poem, when you are old. The poet asks his beloved that when she is old and grey, sitting by the fire, she is nodding. She must go and open this book. Which book? The book of the poet's poems. The book of the everlasting love and the memory. This is symbolism used by the poet in the form of book. It is not exactly some book. It is the collection of the poems, the poetry written by the poet in memory of his beloved. Then everlasting love, the love that is eternal for his beloved, and again the memories, good and bad, all the memories. This is just a kind of book in our mind, and when we sit, and many things happen in our life, and when these things happen, they are not jotted down in any book or anything, but at times we sit and try to think about the past, and we turn the pages of the past in our memory, just as we turn the pages of the book. These pages of the past are turned like a book in our memory, but there is no book in front of us. This is known as symbolism. In the same way, here, the poet asks his beloved to open the book. But which book? All the poems written by the poet. Then, his everlasting love and the memories. They are just a kind of book which his beloved can have in her mind, and she can turn the pages of the past, just she turns the pages of the book. Again, the fire. Time passing, warmth fading, and life's evening. It is written that you will be sitting by the fire. Apparently, when any human being grows old, we find that he's old and grey, and he finds something, always he feels that it is feeling cold, atmosphere is cool, and he likes, even if there is a minor wet, not so long rains, even a little downpour makes old people to feel cold. But this cold, what this cold means? This means that our time is passing. We have spent much of our lifetime. This time is passing. The warmth of our youth is fading. Youth is going, it is fading. There is no youth now left behind. We are in our old age, and it is the evening of our life. It is not the daytime, it is the evening. For example, if we divide our life in one day as a day, when it is morning, it is the birth or childhood. Then it is, as the day advances, we are in our prime youth. But the more the day advances towards evening, we are going towards our old age. And this old age ends in the darkness of the night, which can be represented by death. So what is our life? It's just one day, from morning to evening, from rising of the sun to the setting of the sun, having the daylight to having no light. That means morning to night. It is all one day in which we can divide the life of one human being. And when it is life is evening, it is the time when a human being is nearer to death, and he needs a fire, he needs warmth. So this kind of symbolism is also used in the poem. And then there are stars. Stars are at the distance. We love to stare at the stars in the night, but we are unable to catch them because they are so distant. They are at distance, but they are in eternity. My father has seen those stars. My grandfather, my great-grandfather has seen stars. My children, my great-grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, they will be seeing these stars. So generations will come and generations will go, and these stars will be there, and they form the eternity. That means they are everlasting. They are there, they are distant, but they are everlasting, but they are beyond our reach. That is why poet has used the word stars, that she will be gazing towards the stars and thinking that my love has gone beyond the stars and I am not able to catch him now. I am not able to retrieve my love from these stars again. So this kind of symbolism has been used. Here we have 3 examples of symbolism: the book, the fire, and the stars. And these 3 symbols represent 3 different things in the poem. Now we go to the last, this type of literary device used in this poem, that is metaphor. Metaphor is a direct comparison without using like or as. That means when we like to compare 2 things, we need to compare some 2 things, so we use metaphor. A direct comparison, but not using the words like or as. Yeats calls the woman's inner self as her pilgrim soul. She does not say your soul is so pious or as pious as the soul of a pilgrim. No, what he says, but one man loved the pilgrim soul in you. He says, well, you have a pilgrim soul. He uses this metaphor for his beloved soul. So her soul is compared to a soul of a pilgrim or a traveler on a long journey or a pious journey. So here the poet W.B. Yeats uses the word pilgrim soul for his poet, for his beloved Morgan, as the soul, as her soul is a pilgrim soul, because it is showing that she is searching, experiencing life's journey. Why is her soul a pilgrim soul? Because she is on a travel. She is traveling for what? She is searching for what? An experience of what? Life, the journey of life, how the life is. She is experiencing the life. So when she is on this kind of journey, on a pious journey of life, so her soul is pilgrim soul. So this kind of metaphor has been used here by the poet, and these are the literary devices used by the poet. And again we have consonants. Consonance is a repetition of consonant sounds in the poem by the poet. Consonant sounds within words. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds in the poem. But consonance is the repetition of consonant sounds within words, and it also adds the rhythm and emphasizes the poem. Like, and bending down besides the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly. Bending, besides, bars, and bending down besides the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly. So this is known as consonants. This bending, besides, bars, this creates a soft, hushed effect that matches the mood of sadness. And last of all, there is rhyme scheme. You have already seen that the rhyme scheme in the poem is a ba, then a ka da, ef, this like this, sleep, book, look, deep and grace, grace true, you and face, bars, fled, head and stars. This is the rhyme scheme, and this was all for today's lesson regarding the literary devices used in the poem written by W.B. Yeats, titled When You Are Old. Hope you have enjoyed the lesson. We will be meeting in the next lesson. Till then, goodbye.